Greetings, Captains! After the previous episode, you asked a lot of questions in the comments, and I'm here to answer the most interesting ones. How long has World of Warships been in development? World of Warships was announced in August 2011, so it's going to be 7 years soon. Dasha, what were your impressions after shooting your first video for the game and seeing it published online? That's a very good question. I hadn't been a presenter before. Everything was strange and very difficult for me. The project's producer told me to swing my hands more, because it makes me look more convincing. And of course, I did my best, swinging my hands about and looking convincing, without understanding anything I said. And then we got a flood of comments about my hands. But watching this video, I thought, is that really me? Do I do such things? Because to me, it was amazing that I was able to make this video and present that script, which I really didn't understand at all. Of course, after this, I started playing the game and learned many things about the project and the ships themselves, and I hope that my presenting benefited from this, and I do it better now than the first time. But the first video was a victory for me. Will there be more maps with the zone game mode in the future? It's a pity that this mode is so rare. On the one hand, the zone mode adds diversity to the game, but on the other hand, it's not popular enough to make it appear more frequently, so we don't plan to do it at the moment. How is the development of USS Massachusetts going? It's my favorite ship, and I'd love to see it in the game. It's going well, as we already have USS Alabama. We want to make Massachusetts a little different, more suitable for close quarters and aggressive combat. Will the Dunkirk collection return, like what happened with the Bismarck collection? We want it very much. We'll see. Maybe an occasion for it will arise, although, to be honest, we're thinking about Operation Dynamo more and not the collection. If I understand correctly, a promo anime campaign is rolling out on the Asian server. Does this mean that the CIS region will not see this content implemented in the game? If you're talking about Azure Lane, this event will be available to everyone. Dasha, do you have a pet? Yes, I have a cat called Lucian. I found it in a stable. It was a very small ball of fur then, who sneezed, coughed, and was very ill. I nursed it back to health, and now it's a wonderful and active cat. Now it lives with my mom in Novosibirsk, because I travel a lot and can't look after it, but I miss it very much. When will you add the ability to purchase new ships and captains from the high school fleet anime? Usually, when we add something to the game, we count on using it more than once. However, you need to understand that in the case of High School Fleet, it's the question of licensed content. So we're trying, but we can't promise this. In the future, will you bring back the ships that were removed from sale? It's highly likely. We'll do our best to keep the range of ships we offer as diverse as possible. Will aircraft carriers be reworked? I hope so. The developers are working hard on this. Recently, they've revealed a little about this in the new Waterline series. Will there be a separate branch of battlecruisers? There are no such plans for now. We also don't plan to distinguish battlecruisers as a separate type. Hakuryu is an imaginary ship, isn't she? All ships were imagined at some point. The Hakuryu project existed on paper only, but we've built it in our World of Warships. Could you introduce low-range torpedoes for the British battleships to compensate for their weak armor-piercing shells at close quarters? Could you introduce a low chance of flooding and high chance of setting a ship on fire? When will HMS Vanguard arrive? Game designers will tell you about balance, historical consultants about historical accuracy. But I believe that British battleships might be offended by such allegations. In my opinion, they have decent penetration, especially at close quarters. I saw several videos with you acting. What else did you do before coming to World of Warships? I really like my occupation due to its variety. I perform at a theater and shoot for various projects. Sometimes I need to invent just a new look, but other times I need to invent a whole new life. That's why my job is so amazing, because these lives can be completely different from each other. You can look it up on the internet to see the specific projects that I was shooting for. Why do all the commanders look so unhappy? Could you add smiling commanders? They're not unhappy, they're serious. Our game is serious. However, that's a good idea. For example, when your team is winning a battle, the commander starts smiling. Could you add a view from the captain's bridge? Adding some kind of interior would be really cool. It's possible from the technical point of view, but players should pay more attention to the battle. They simply don't have time to contemplate the scenery. Dasha, will your voiceover be present in the game? Actually, a mod for this already exists, but I'll think about other variants. Hi, Dasha. Is there a chance that the developers will add a function to specify a player's birthday so that players could receive 2 premium account days or 200 doubloons on these dates? That would help a lot. Hi from Brazil. Hi, Brazil. Well, my birthday is next month. I'll go and talk to the developers. Do you speak English? We would like to hear you say English tongue twisters.
How much would Chuck chuck? If would chuck could chuck would. He would chuck he would as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would. If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Thank you for your interesting questions. Don't stop. Ask away in the comments section. Subscribe to our channel. I'm Dasha Perova. Until next time, Captains.